Podcast number one. ¿Todavía? ¿Todavía no?
Oh, podcast. Okay. I like this.
All right, guys, we're here with Muchacho. Muchacho, I know Muchacho for years and years, but I started training with Muchacho 8 years ago when he opened his academy in Safety Harbor, Florida. And now he's in Colombia with us teaching at BJJ Camp XP for the second time. And Muchacho, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you think of this project, man.
Who I am? I'm I'm his instructor, and I was invited here along with Alex Eklund to teach a couple of positions in the gi. And I've been training since 2004. Started training with David Vieira, a former alumni of BJJ Camp XP, one of the teachers of BJJ Camp XP, and started with him up until purple belt, and then from purple belt to black belt with Rodrigo Grano. They actually have schools in our area. We cross train a lot, so the guys usually Saturdays we go to all the academies. So really, I was born in New Jersey, but I was raised in Ecuador because my parents separated when I was one, and I went to Ecuador. So I grew up as a Latino, but in 21 in 2001, sorry, I when I was 21, I came to Tampa. And then I found jiu-jitsu, like I said, in 2004, and I haven't stopped training since then. So I got my black belt in 2014 from Rodrigo. And in 2016, I opened Safety Harbor Jiu-Jitsu. And then in 2022, the project BJJ Camp XP started. In fact, if you don't mind, I can tell the.
Yeah, I was gonna go take it right there. Yeah.
Nico, I think, came back from Colombia. He was in Colombia maybe for a month or so. And I was getting mad because he wasn't training, to be fair. But he was in Colombia. Then he came back, and one day he comes to me, and we go to a restaurant called Pho Bowl in Tampa, in Clearwater. We sat down, and he literally had everything in his mind already, even the name, including the name, which was really surprising. He said XP. I almost felt bad that I said right away yes, and I didn't counter with anything else for the name or for the experience that he was telling me what he had in his mind. He had the whole project in his mind from the get go. So he started telling me about this project, and I was really happy because when I met Nico, I met him, and I was like, oh, I thought this guy, this playboy, he had a 350Z Nissan, and I saw him starting jiu-jitsu, and then I never saw him again. But then when I saw him later and he became my student, I knew who he was. So I got to know him and Chavito, his partner, and I knew that anything that they were gonna do, because really my gym was really predicated on my students and what environment they created. So I saw what environment they were creating at my school, and I know that was going to be a good environment wherever they put the camp in. Yeah. So he told me, I want to do this. I want to, he always, I think, had the entrepreneurial spirit, but I was super happy to hear that he wanted to do his own project, even though he had already been doing other projects. But this one had to do with jiu-jitsu, so I was very excited.
Yeah, I remember sitting there in Pho Bowl and telling you the project, but my biggest worry that I was a blue belt. And I'm like, I'm starting a jiu-jitsu camp as a blue belt. And I kind of needed your vote of confidence. I needed that you can do this. And then you're like, let's do it. And then the next day you called Juan Miguel Iturralde and you're like, I can get you a professor. And I was like, for real? We got a professor. And then you called Juan Miguel Iturralde on FaceTime and he's like, yeah, I'll go. And I was like, oh, that was simple. And then, and then I was like, okay, now let's see if we can get registrations. And Chavito signed up, was the first one who signed up. And then we got one more registration from the US. And we're like, all right, we got 2 registrations. I guess it's going to be 3 people in the first camp.
Incredible. Also another thing was, as he says, he was a blue belt. He was also a really good blue belt. And maybe I was a little bit holding him because of at the time, the training was not enough because he was also working a lot. So But one of the things in the beginning, they asked me to go, and I was like, almost like what I do sometimes when they go to like a tournament. I let them go by themselves to see like how it goes. I prefer to be with them, but a lot of times it's almost like a challenge. And I thought to myself that that I had the belief, but I wanted to see how organized they could get. So once I talked to Juan Miguel, and he was on board to come to Colombia. He had roots here in Colombia, and he was super excited. Once he talked to Nico, obviously the connection was there, and it was all easy. Once I saw the camp, I was like, "Damn it, I should have gone to the first one." And now that I've been to two camps, I really should have gone to all the camps.
No, it's been crazy. That in that first camp, I remember Chavito and I came here and we're like, we hope people show up, and then we had 10 people show up from Bogota, and it was crazy. And after that, we kind of went back and we're like, this is something, and that's when Chavito decided, hey, I want to be in this, and then you started helping us even more. You helped us with David, you helped us getting the students be here, and then now we're 7 camps in. Um, this is your second camp, man. And what do you think about the camp itself? Honest truth, right? You know?
Honest truth. I always say, I always describe it in one word to everybody that asks me, and I say 5 stars. But 5 stars might sound like this is a hotel and not really an experience. But this is really I can summon into just little words, because the energy, first of all, that Calima has is different than I've been to Colombia, to a lot of places in Colombia, and the energy that we have, I don't know if it's exactly the house or Calima, but I have a suspicion that it might be the people that come. So I think that in a school, I talked this with Alex and other professors of jiu-jitsu. A lot of times the schools, the environment, the school comes from the top, comes from the person that's the leader. So I always tell that having these guys who are like the main coaches at my school that help me at my school, and I know the work they do. I knew that it was going to be good, but when I came here, it was probably, just not to exaggerate, maybe 3 times better. So I think that this camp is a camp that is different from any other camps. I've seen him throughout the years. You might think I'm biased, but really, I don't know if I would go to another camp. If I make time in the year for anything, it's for BJJ Camp XP. So what I think is this project, if we can still call it project, this experience is amazing.
Oh, awesome, man. Well, that's it, guys. You heard it from Muchacho. Thank you so much, bro. And thank you so much, Master, for coming and teaching and being a part of this, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Awesome.